p.m. Let the record show there is a quorum of board members present. Myself, Stephen Shadrock, Mr. Craig Mutz, Mr. Jason Sabota, Dr. Joel Odom, and Terrell Shellhouse. Furthermore, let the record show that this meeting has been duly posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. This is an open meeting, and we welcome members of the public to observe. Please note that public comment should be reserved for the public comment portion of the agenda. We kindly ask that no comments or questions be made outside of that time. Should you have any questions or comments, we welcome you to contact the administration directly. I thank you in advance for the cooperation. I'd also ask you to please silence your cell phones, if you don't mind, please. Mr. Mutz will lead us off in prayer, followed by myself with the pledges.
Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to gather and serve our school and our community. We ask for your wisdom, guidance, as we make decisions that affect our students, teachers, staff, and families. Help us lead with integrity, listen with respect, and work together in unity. Give us compassion so that every decision reflects what is best for our students and our district. We pray for the safety and success of our students and ask your blessings, our educators, staff, and families. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please let the record show that Dr. Martinez joined the meeting at 6:32. Welcome, Dr. Martinez. Mr. Sabota will now recite our FISD vision and mission statement.
The FISD vision statement is character, knowledge, confidence. Our mission statement is FISD is committed to the development of innovative lifelong learners who possess character traits to achieve personal and professional success.
Thank you. Dr. Odom will now recite our FISD goals, please.
The FISD goals are excellent student outcomes, superior workplace environment, exceptional customer service and community engagement, and strategic resource management.
We will now do a round robin of the board recitation of the FISD core beliefs. Our FISD core beliefs are: in FISD, we believe all students feel safe and supported in a developmentally and academically challenging environment.
Families are welcome partners in their children's education.
Faculty and staff are compassionate, dedicated, adaptable individuals who are student-centered.
Campus leadership is fair, equitable, and clearly communicates and engages with stakeholders.
Superintendent and central administration lead with integrity, transparency, and clear communication to provide a well-resourced educational environment.
Trustees provide student-centered and fiscally responsible leadership and transparent and ethical support of all stakeholders.
Overview of good governance and code of ethics. Each month, we highlight one of our good governance indicators and code of ethics that the FISD's Board of Trustees follow to promote the best interests of the district as a whole. This month, for the code of ethics, we're highlighting commitment to service. I will focus my attention on fulfilling the board's responsibility of goal setting, policy making, and evaluation. I will diligently prepare and attend board meetings. I will involve personal involvement in activities the board has delegated to the superintendent. I will seek continuing education that will enhance my ability to fulfill my duties effectively. Our good governance indicator for this month is: the board has a written plan for the review and measurement of board advocacy for the district within the community and with other governmental entities.
Thank you all for all of that. Now we come to a part of our meeting agenda that's not normal, but It's very important. We're gonna have a recognition of Dr. Gilstrap. This will be his last meeting with us. And so I prepared a little bit of comments. I will ask any board members that want to share any comments. We have a few things to present you as well, so here we go. Thank you, Dr. Gilstrap, for your commitment to FISD. Your detailed knowledge of the Texas public education and school operations has been a tremendous resource to our district, and you served as a leader to our educators, staff, and board of trustees. There were many small and large initiatives that you and your leadership team and administrators accomplished to move our students forward and prepare them for the future. We as Board of Trustees will forever be grateful for your contributions and wish you and your family, Gail and Emily and Luke, all the best wishes as you enter a new chapter in your public educational career. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Anyone else, feel free to add anything.
Dr. Gilstrap, we've had many talks with you many years, and I appreciate your dedication. We look for your guidance when we hired you, and you definitely fulfilled and exceeded our expectations for what you've done for us. We're looking forward, and I just want to say thank you so much. Your dedication. Good luck in the future. We'll come back.
Thank you, sir, I appreciate it. This means a lot.
Dr. Gilstrap, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
That's all I need to say. Appreciate your leadership, and thank you for your apprenticeship, and, again, we are looking for a permanent superintendent, so if you want to apply, you can do so. In August, by the way, when the job is posted. But we do appreciate you and love you, and I know that your family and you are going to do well.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Earl, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shell. It means a lot. I know Dr. Martinez and Mr. Sabota on the board came on, and thank y'all for the opportunity. It's not something I take lightly. Whenever I came in, one of my first things was just a feeling of being humble, an opportunity to lead a district, lead a community, and everything that entails. Because in Floresville, the school district is a big part, a major part of the community and the county. And so y'all having the trust and faith in me to do that, it really humbled me, and I appreciate it. Whenever you just said his last board meeting in 5 years, and I thought,
Yeah.
good Lord, I bet I've done 80 board meetings up here.
Yes.
And so it's a lot. I know some administrators have probably been at maybe half of those. Y'all are supposed to laugh. But it really does humble me, and I appreciate it very much. It's been a good move for me personally, for my family, which is most important, but it's also been a good move professionally. And it's still in good hands with a team of 8 that you are going to move forward with. So thank you all very much for everything. Thank you for the support.
Thank you very much. We have a few tokens of appreciation we'd like to present and give you that. I think there's something on Dr. Martinez, it's not quite done yet, so there's still a couple extra words of wisdom. It didn't quite make its way down here, but we want to make sure everyone has an opportunity. There is a little token there, and then Mr. Sabota has something, but we'd like to present to you.
A little appreciation from us to you. Your name, time that you served with us as superintendent.
I like that you do that.
I'd like to say I did.
It looks great, you know, Floresville ISD and our emblem, and the years I was here, I appreciate it.
Thank you. As you said, probably any time, just get right in front, get a picture.
All right.
Yeah, all right. You want
Down in the middle.
You're in the middle.
I'll get you to see that picture. Kind of hold this angle like that.
Do we all do sad faces now?
Just don't take a picture.
Thank you again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Good. That's it, you want to move to the administrators?
And what about your wife? You like administrator's wife? Ms. Hill? Yes.
Bill, come on. Y'all board members, y'all get back there.
Oh, I'll,
Meredith, you're part of this team. Dr. Calavo, can you take a picture? Okay, Rachel can do it then.
That's the thing. I love this.
Okay, ready? All right, 1, 2. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, we have two public comments, and I'm aware of this feature. Let me read some information before we open those up. The board encourages comments about the district from members of the public. Anyone who has signed up to speak in advance of the meeting in accordance with the board procedures will do so at this time. The board will ask that each participant's comments pertain to the district business and be no longer than 2 minutes. Remember, the board may not discuss or act upon any issues that are not posted on our agenda. In addition, the board has adopted policies to provide prompt and equitable resolution of complaints and concerns for employees, students, or their parents, and the general public. Copies of district policies and procedures on public comment and filing complaints are available at www.fisd.us. And at this time, I have Ms. Marissa Terry, is one of our first public comments. And Ms. Petrie, if you'll help me keep the track of time, please. Thank you.
So it'll be short and it's off the top of my head, just related to communication. So for example, I believe I just overheard that in August, the superintendent position will officially be posted. So like, we've heard no communication as far as the superintendent, the interim, and I realize it's on the executive session for tonight. I get that it hasn't been done, but any communication is helpful. Even just letting us know that in August officially it'll be posted, an interim, all that stuff. As far as, I did go to the workshop, and there were so many things there that I have not spoken about, because it's a workshop, right? It's not a final anything. But also because context, and the workshop provided the context, right? Out of context, things seem crazy. For example, the, what was it? HB 9, where the property taxes, we're gonna lose 4% of property taxes. People like me are not saving any money, right? Our taxes are going to still hurt the way they always do. But if you let people know property taxes, the revenue from that is gonna decrease, here's why. Businesses are gonna be saving on their property taxes. That sort of information is so important. And you get it from coming to the workshop, but I don't want people to lose that context. So if you can communicate that to people, Terrell, mentioned the child care last time, and people do have questions, why isn't it both campuses? You guys answered that really well. There's a completely legitimate reason why it can't be at both campuses. So if you could just find some way to communicate that, good, now we have an answer. So anyway, off the top of my head, all right, thank you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Ed, for your comments. Appreciate that. Thank you. The next public comment is from Jesse Verlander.
Yes, sir.
Please, sir.
Sorry. Bad meeting. Good evening, Dr. Gilstrap, Board President, members of the board. First, I want to say to you, Dr. Gilstrap, thank you for your time here, serving our kids in this district. We really appreciate it. And we're glad to see the,
Thank you to your wife for being a part of getting here.
yeah, she was. Alright, so, hey, the only thing I really wanted to speak about is the board agendas. It'd be nice to see supporting documents when you post a board agenda, just so the community can know what you're speaking about. I mean, unless you've been part of a board like you guys, or been around school districts for 17 years like I was, sometimes you can read something and not know what they're gonna actually talk about. Supporting documents would be great, most districts do it on their board books, and just, might get more folks to show up, just to see what you're speaking about. But if we can include some supporting documents, that would be great. And last but not least, I'm a transportation guy. I hope there's some money in the budget to buy some school buses. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate your comments, Mr. Verlander, and I wish there was a lot of them.
That's good.
So thank you for that. We will now have a public hearing over the proposed 2026-2027 budget by Ms. Ames.
Good evening, Dr. Shadrack, Dr. Gilstrap, members of the board. This evening we will conduct our public hearing on the proposed 26-27 budget. So just to start off, we review the mission and vision statement of the district. Again, our vision, character, knowledge, and confidence. Our mission, FISD is committed to the development of innovative lifelong learners who possess character traits to achieve personal and professional success. Again, our whole development of our budget is tied back to these two things. Also looking at our goals, again, we've gone over those, but again, that's the founding tie down to our budget and what we look at when we are developing our budget and what our priorities are. So again, our budget process, we do get our Wilson County and Bear County Appraisal District preliminary values. Those are by law required to be given to the district by April 25th each year. We had a board workshop. We've had several board workshops with the budget committee, the finance committee, as well as the whole board last month. Public notice published in the Wilson County News. We did have our public hearing, that is tonight. Final budget approval will also be presented tonight. And then we will approve the tax rate, not until September 14th of 2026. Again, we have to have that approved by September 30th every year. We do have to wait for the state, for TEA, to give us our MCR, maximum compressed tax rate. That usually happens at the beginning of August. And so we adopt our tax rate at our meeting in September. This is just a copy of the notice of public meeting that was published in the newspaper. Looking at our total tax rate history for the last 3 years, from tax year 23 through tax year 25, you can see our tax rate has gone down. Our total tax rate there, again, made up of two different parts, the M&O for maintenance and operating, and the INS, the interest and sinking rates. So you can see the total rates there. Again, they've gone down about 5 cents in the last 3 years. Looking at the factors influencing the budgeting process for this year, we're looking at 26-27 enrollment of about 3,900 students. Our ADA, that's maintaining a 94% attendance rate of 5372, and again, still House Bill 2 that passed last year influencing on the budget. Looking at our average daily attendance and our enrollment history over the last 10 years, you can see where we have been, our attendance rate there. 10 years ago, our ADA was 3714. This past year it was 3538. So you can see our enrollment there. We're at 3982. We're at 3901 in snapshot this year. So again, you can see the dips there from COVID, trying to work our way back, but it's been a slow process. So factors influencing the budget this year, tax year 26 property values, preliminary values were at about $2.2 billion. billion. Again, that is a 4.12% decrease over tax year 25 certified values. Again, as we explained in the budget workshop, that is due to the businesses and how businesses are valued now due to legislation. Our tax rate collection, we usually enjoy a high rate of collection, so 98%, so that's the percent we're looking at for this year as well. Our compressed tax rates, again, those are last year's compressed tax rates. We can't look at ours until TEA gives us those MCRs, usually beginning of, or always at the beginning of August. So looking at the 26-27, the board approves the general fund, the food service fund, and the debt service fund. So the three funds that we approved. We're going to look at revenues and appropriations, our debt obligations, and our tax rate history again. So looking at the revenue for the general fund, we're looking at local revenue of $13.3 million, state revenue of $29.8, and federal revenue in our general fund of $200,000. So that's going to be a $43.3 million budget in our general fund. That is down. We're looking at down $1 million from this past year, or from this current year that we're in.
So the state provides, what is that, 68?
Yes, 68.3%, and local is about 31.2%. Looking on the appropriation side, we have instruction budget of $24 million, our instructional and student support of a little over $6 million, administrative support about $1.5 million, our operations and support services $10.7 million, debt service in the general fund. This is not our bonds; these are our maintenance tax notes, which this is the last year we have to pay those off, as well as any short-term loans like our printers and copiers, things like that. New GASB regulations have come out requiring you to put them here. So that's $210,000. Other operating, we're looking at $653,000 for the total budget there again of 43.3. If you look at the budgeted revenues versus the budget expenditures, we are showing a balanced budget for this year. We are looking at a step raise for all teachers, 2.5% for admin, 3.5% for auxiliary employees. That is built into this budget. We have saved, we did cut out of the budget with some of the maintenance things we did this past year. We did the track as well. That was right at $1 million. We are saving, I believe it's 3 FTEs on the instructional side at the high school level, well, 2 at the high school, 1 at the elementary campus, for some savings there, which is where we're getting the money to be able to fund those raises. Also, the money we've been able to give at Christmas, the bonus check, it has not been TRS credible compensation. We're going to put that into a raise, which does make it TRS credible compensation, so therefore it does contribute to their retirement. Fund balance, our audited fund balance as of last June was $12.2 million. TA does recommend a fund balance of 3 months operating expenditures. Ours is right at 10.3 million. So you can see there we do have a healthy fund balance. It's just our appropriations by general fund, looking at object code, so we can see our payroll cost right there, right at 80% of our total budget. So our 80% of our total budget does go to payroll. Contracted and professional services were 11.5%, supplies and materials 4.4%, operating expenses 3.4%, debt service again very small at 0.5%. But there's how that is broken out. Switching over to the child nutrition fund, local revenue there about $500,000, state revenue very small, $10,000. Federal revenue, that's all our programs. National School Lunch Program, School Breakfast Program, a little over $2 million for about a $2.5, almost $2.3 million child nutrition fund. So again, this fund is completely opposite of the general fund. You've got the majority of that coming from federal revenue supporting that program. Looking at appropriations, again, operations and support $2.5 million, very small debt service $4,500. Again, that's our copier leases. So we're at a total, again, of 2.5, almost 2.3 million, also a balanced budget this year. Looking at our debt obligations for this year, we have about $3.2 million in principal that we will be paying down on our bonds, $1.3 million in interest for a total obligation for this year for the district of a little over $4.5 million. Looking at our tax rate history over the last 10 years, our total tax rate history, we've decreased by about 59 cents over the last 10 years in our total tax rate. So, and there again, split into the two, M&O tax rate, INS tax rate. Just as a reminder, M&O is what funds our daily operations, INS is strictly to pay off debt obligations, bond obligations. So our revenue on our debt service fund, we're looking at a little over $4 million in local revenue. Again, that's taxes. State revenue about $500,000 for a total, again, of the $4.5 million. It's all in debt service. That's all this fund can pay for. So therefore, we do have a balanced budget there. Looking at the combined revenues of all three funds, we're looking at local revenue of almost 18 million, state revenue of a little over 30 million, federal revenue of 2.2, so a total budget that the board approves of a little over $50 million. Again, this is the three combined funds, so your general fund, your child nutrition fund, and your debt service fund. Looking again at how the appropriations and they combine out, again, this is looking at your instruction, your instructional and student support, admin support, operations, debt service, other operating costs for your total budget there, again, of $50 million. So looking at 2026, 27 and beyond, potential enrollment growth, again, we did not see that this year. We're hoping that will be ticking back up for us. Property value growth, property tax legislation, the impacts and sustainability of House Bill 2 over the long run. And again, the legislature goes back into session in January for the 90th Texas legislative session. So we'll see what happens there, as well as any special sessions that would come out of that. Also, our upcoming timeline, July 25th, is when we receive our certified values from our local appraisal districts. August 2026, TA will provide our MCR, maximum compressed tax rate. September 14th will be our tax rate hearing and our tax rate adoption. Just to thank you there, and any questions? Are there any questions on the hearing?
A lot of numbers are.
I'm sorry.
A lot of numbers are.
Yes, there are 11 numbers there.
We appreciate all the hard work with that. I know, when we look at our local money, it's a little bit easier to control than the state monies that we have to put that in the budget, but we don't have complete control of it.
Correct.
So the change in the legislative session.
Yes. But with that, since enrollment was down, some of the reshuffling of headcount as a result of the decrease in student enrollment, we've right-sized basically our employment-based enrollment.
Correct. That's where those FTEs are coming from.
We did, through attrition, we were able to get some positions this year, because we saw the dip in enrollment. And then going into next year, we've also done a staffing analysis to make sure we're not overstaffed, which is what a lot of districts do, and that's how they get into, overstretched in their budgets and having to close down campuses and make those tough decisions because they don't make adjustments whenever there's a decline in that enrollment. So we feel like we've made those adjustments to present a balanced budget, but also to be sustainable.
Correct.
Moving forward.
Ms. Abel did include in that, I know Mr. Blaine mentioned the buses, and we talked about that recently, about retrofitting some that was in, not able to make that
Not
happen.
this year. We were not able to get any of that in, no.
Too tight, okay.
But I also believe that the state is collecting all that data.
Right.
How much it's costing, and we all had to submit that to the state. So I'm anticipating the legislators to provide some type of grant opportunities or some type of funding mechanism, because obviously it's across the state.
Yeah. It's probably only school districts that are in recapture that are getting money back to the state. Those might be the only districts that can afford buses. ISDs.
Right, we saw how much that would cost in Mr. Schuller's presentation,
I
and
didn't know we
it's
had a little bit together.
not really this year, no, not without having to do some of those preventive maintenance things and things that we need.
A lot of districts are pending, or waiting to see what the legislature's gonna do, or they're looking at bond options to go for bond election to fund the buses.
Because even if on the retrofit, if I remember, it was like 1.7 mil, and then
1.5,
by all of
1.5,
the buses
yeah.
was like 7+ million.
This is a public hearing, so if there are any questions or comments from the public, we can answer those as well. If there are not, then that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we'll have the superintendent report by Dr. Gilchrist.
Yes, Mr. John Rock, board members, since the budget workshop, we did receive and I accepted a resignation from Diana Wagner as principal of the Floresville Early Childhood Center. Will be retiring and pursuing educational opportunities outside of public education, so she will be resigning at the end of this month. We want to thank her for leading our campus and walking us through the opening of that campus, reopening of the Childhood Center, and developing that culture of learning and support, not only for students, but for families, and really having to take staff from north and south and blend them to build that culture. So we want to make sure we thank Ms. Wagner for her help in getting that done. In order to move forward, the position has been posted, so we'll continue to collect resumes and conduct interviews at the appropriate time. We do have a couple of teachers from the campus who have contacted us about wanting to participate in the interview process. So, also provided at the board packet this evening is the board meeting calendar for 26-27 school year. Per the policy, regular meetings will be held on the first Monday of each month at 6:30, with two exceptions, September due to Labor Day holiday, as well as November due to the election canvassing requirements. So those will be the only times that we don't plan on meeting on the first Monday of the month. Additional meetings may be called or changes may be made, but appropriate communications will be sent out in a timely manner if those change. Also included in the packet are the regular meeting agenda calendar. So we do maintain, and Melissa maintains, a calendar for each board meeting of items that we routinely do to make sure we don't miss any of those routine things that we have to get done every year. So those two things are provided in your packet for your review. We're also in the process of posting communications and information regarding the 2026 board elections as required by law. This year we have two places up, single member districts 3 and 5. Applications to be filed for the positions are available on the district website, along with additional information that people can find there. Applications are due by Monday, August the 17th at 5 p.m. Election day is Tuesday, November 3rd. So those are interested in applying, filling an application to run for those positions, we encourage you to do so. Per policy DC local, beginning April 1st through the 31st of August, the board delegates the superintendent the authority to offer contracts. Including your packet is the updated contracts that have been offered. There's also some upcoming dates that have been provided for you as well. I will say that we've had quite a few of our certified teachers that were getting hired. I believe 2 years ago, Ms. Stonish, we were at 60 uncertified. This past year we were
43 at the beginning of the year.
And going into this
Today,
year right
you're
now,
at 18.
we're at 18.
At 19 yesterday.
We've made great efforts to our administrators, our HR department. Thank you all for concentrating on that and really making that effort to go out and recruit those people. And we still have people that are currently uncertified that are getting their certifications this summer, so it seems to be almost weekly. We're getting a couple of people that passed those certification tests and they're converting over to the contract employment. We do have new teacher orientation coming up. That's one of the things listed there. So board members, we encourage you to be there at new teacher orientation on July the 27th. You can be there for breakfast, for introductions. You don't have to stay all day. Currently, I believe we have 19 new teachers that will be welcoming aboard that day. And of those 19, this is what I want to brag about, 3 are new to the profession. So we are still recruiting experienced teachers for our classrooms. And that's as part of our calendar discussions, some other things that we've done over the years, is reducing the number of non-certified, but also reducing the number of new teachers. So only 3 new to the profession teachers right now. So we're recruiting some experience. So again, kudos to our administrative staff for doing that. Are there any questions? All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Gilchrist. Next on the agenda is item number 5. First item is a consent agenda by Dr. Gilchrist. I'm sorry, I did. I went ahead here. Got ahead of myself. I'll ask for the dip for a summary review by Ms. Brooks.
Ms. Brooks, I don't want to be out there.
She's
not gonna get off that easy.
No, we always like to hear from the group.
Neither are y'all.
Well, good evening, President Shadrach, Dr. Gilstrap, and Board of Trustees. Tonight, I will provide a very short summary of the summative review of the District Improvement Plan for 25-26. To provide some context in the District Improvement Plan, goals tell us where we are going, performance objectives tell us how we will know when we got there, and strategies tell us what we will do to get there. So for example, if our goal, or think of a road trip, if our goal is to arrive in San Antonio, our performance objective is to reach San Antonio by 3 p.m. while staying within the planned fuel budget, and then our strategy is to take Highway 181, stop for gas once, and then use the GPS to avoid traffic. So the goal is the destination, the measurable target is the performance objective, and the route is to take the strategy. So tonight I'll be giving a progress on our goals, performance objectives, and our strategies. In FISD, we have 4 goals, as Ms. Engel just talked about, or destinations that drive our district improvement plan, all of which also align to our strategic plan. In FISD, Goal 1, excellent student outcomes. Goal 2, superior workplace environment. Goal 3, exceptional customer service and community engagement. And Goal 4, strategic resource management. Each quarter, the district conducted a formative review to assess progress toward district goals and evaluate the effectiveness of performance objectives and strategies. The district and campus leadership team also evaluated our progress in June and completed a summative or final review. You have the complete summative status of these meetings in your board packet. So that was the 49-page attachment in your packet, and it'll also be posted on the website. But this is a very short summary tonight. For 25-26, within the 4 goals, FISD has 14 performance objectives or measurable targets. Performance objectives are summatively evaluated at the end of the year as either met performance, significant progress, some progress, or no progress. Of the 14 performance objectives, 50% or 7 met performance, 35% had significant progress, and 14% had some progress. Again, all of the details are in your board packet and will be online. In the final quarter of the review, strategies are also evaluated as either accomplished, meaning 100% of the strategy was successfully implemented and the intended work is complete, or continue and modify, meaning the strategy remains effective and will be continued as written with either modifications or adaptations to maintain any results, or it will be discontinued. The strategy has been fully implemented or the need no longer is within the district. Of the 39 strategies, 41% were accomplished, 59% will be continued or modified into our next school year. The continued strategies will revolve around these themes: improving student attendance, improving student outcomes for math and reading, making sure we're implementing effective instruction to improve learning, providing support for special student groups, including students serviced under special education and gifted and talented, and continuing efforts to recruit and retain highly qualified staff, as well as planning to meet the facility needs within the district. As previously reported in our formative reviews, we've already taken steps to develop the district improvement plan for next school year by including input from various stakeholders. I will bring a recommendation for the board to approve the 26-27 DIP in our August school board meeting. Board of Trustees, do you have any questions?
Thank you for your presentation.
Now, next on the agenda is item number 5, the consent agenda by Dr. Gilstrap.
Yes, board members, consent agenda this month includes all of our minutes from previous meetings, as well as an acceptance of a donation from the Athletic Booster Club in the amount of $30,000 to support all of our athletic programs. There's also the Karnes-Wilson County JJAP agreement. This is done annually, and there are no changes to that this year, so we went ahead and put that in the consent agenda. If there's not any questions, administration recommends the board approve the consent agenda as presented.
President, move to accept the administration's recommendation.
by Mr. Sabota, and a second by Dr. Martinez. Any further discussion on the motion? Show of hands in favor? 6-0.
Thank you, board members.
Now we will consider approval of the final budget amendment for 2025-2026 by Ms. Engel.
Hey, me again. This evening, in your packet is the final budget amendment for 25-26. Again, the board approves the budget at the function level, so this is just moving some funds between the function levels as final bills come in towards the end of the month and beginning of July. They go into this year, so this is just moving, again, funds between the functions. So, are there any questions?
Yeah, so looking at that, looks like you're just moving some of your instructional expenses.
Correct, yeah, just
From
moving down
where we budgeted versus what we spent.
Correct.
One of the things we had to be allocated, obviously, for instruction and teachers, particularly in special education, where we haven't been able to recruit as many, we've had to contract that service out. So we're still providing the service, but we've had to shift it from instruction to a contracted service to continue.
So if there are no questions, administration recommends the board approve the FISD 25-26 final budget amendment as presented.
I move we accept the administration's position.
We have a motion by Mr. Shellhouse and second by Mr. Sabota. Any further discussion on the motion made? Show of hands in favor? 6-0.
Thank you.
We will now consider approval of 2026-2027 budget and compensation plan by Ms. Engel and Ms. Stonish.
Yes, so once again,
Maybe it's Ms. Engel.
well, she's right there if you have any compensation. So the board is required to approve the 26-27 budget at the function level as by June 30th each year so that we can start our new year July 1st. The budget at the function level is being presented to you this evening on the big sheet of paper that you have. So there it is at the function level. The board is also required to approve the compensation plan, which sets employee compensation this year, for this year's budget only. The plan has been included in your budget, in your board packet. So again, you can see at the bottom, the $1 million reduction in the general fund, the first column. The food service, you can see it's down, the revenue's down 15,000, but the expenditure's down 515,000. That's because we had to spend down that fund balance this past year. We were doing it per TEA, so we were spending that down this past year. That's why you're seeing that difference there. But at the end of the day, the revenue and expenditure for this year's budget is balanced. And then again, the 599, the debt service fund, is balanced as well. So that last column is just all three funds combined.
The compensation plan that we're looking at in this budget includes step raises for teachers, a 3.5 of midpoint raise for auxiliary staff or non-exempt employees, and a 2.5% of midpoint raise for administrators and all the other pay grades. So that's the rates we were able to settle in on. Those funds came from obviously reallocation of the stipends that we've passed out in the past, as well as just other attrition of personnel and budgeted projects and maintenance. I think total raise package was $506,000.
So we were able to use some of the existing stipend money and or the reduction in staff to basically fund the increases for next year.
Along with reducing our budget by $1 million. It's not been an easy process. It's been time and effort put into it, conversations with administrators, and looking at every option we can do.
Because I'm sure we had surprises this past year, the cost of fuel was
Yes,
up
the cost of fuel
considerably, so.
was up. Our electrical costs, our utility costs was down significantly. But fuel cost definitely was up.
Unexpectedly.
It was down a little bit.
Yeah.
track this past year.
Correct, we did
Plan
look
on
for that.
reallocating that to do another project, but we just removed that. We replaced the chiller unit at the middle
And a
school.
boiler. And a boiler at the next one.
Boiler at the high school. I think it was in the gym.
Yes.
So we had some other projects that we wanted to try to get done, and, but we still have in the budget, all of our preventative maintenance is in there. Obviously, that program really pays off, and then obviously all of our routine maintenance, preventative maintenance, those kind of things are all still in the budget. And as well as, campus and department, budgets.
Yeah, we did touch those.
I don't hear any clapping out there.
But there again, we make sure all of our facilities are gonna be maintained, clean, everything like that.
Lights still come on, trash still gets picked up.
So it's a tight budget, is what you're telling us, sir.
It is, and it can be adjusted, you know, obviously, if enrollment does come up, then obviously that's gonna be some additional funds we can use.
So if there are no other questions, administration recommends the board approve the 26-27 budget and compensation plan as presented.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the administration's recommendation.
I have a motion by Dr. Odom and a second by Mr. Craig Neese. Any further discussion on the motion made? Show of hands in favor of the motion. 6-0. Thank you all.
Thank you. Ms.
Thank you,
Engel.
Ms. Engel, Ms. Hodges. Thank you all for all that hard work. Very much. We will now consider approval of the appointing of Dawn Palacic Barnett, Wilson County Tax Assessor Collector, as a designated officer to calculate the no new revenue tax rate and voter approved tax rate for the 2026 tax year in accordance with Chapter 26 of the Texas Code. Again, Ms. Engel?
Me one more time. Per our agreement with Wilson County, the district must assign designated tax assessor collector to collect the no new revenue tax rate and the voter approval tax rate each year. So this year, the current tax assessor collector is Dawn Palacic Barnett, which is why she's named in the recommendation. So are there any questions on that? Again, we have the approval or the agreement which renews every year unless we cancel it with them. But we do have to designate her annually to calculate
It's
that
safe.
tax rate.
Formality we're going through is always engaging.
So if there are no questions, administration recommends the board approve the Wilson County Tax Assessor Collector Dawn Palacic Barnett to calculate the 2026 no new revenue and voter approval tax rate as presented.
President, let's accept the administration's recommendation.
I have a motion by Mr. Savoda and a second by Mr. Yates. Any further discussion on the motion made? Show of hands in favor. 6-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Last, we will consider the approval of bids received by the sale of the district property known as approximate 0.775 of an acre tract of land out. Felt like a lawyer there for a minute.
Good evening, Superintendent of Schools, Board President, Board of Trustees. Floresville ISD owns approximately 0.775 acre tract of land located in the S&J Rocha Grant Abstract Number 1 in Floresville, Wilson County, Texas. The property was identified as surplus property and it was determined to be unnecessary for current or future district operations. In accordance with applicable laws and board policy, the district advertised the property for sale and accepting sealed bids from interested purchasers. Bid packets were made available on the district website and at the district central office. The minimum acceptable bid amount was $346,000. The deadline for submitting bids was June 18, 2026 at 2 p.m. At the close of the bidding period, the district had not received any bids for the property. At this time, administration has no action item or recommendation for the board to consider. The board may discuss how to move forward at a future meeting.
So part of that, I mean, there was a window.
Correct.
Remind me, was it 30 days?
30 days.
30 days. So potentially that window was only 30 days. So we could have had interested parties that just didn't have a chance to respond?
It's possible.
We don't know that.
We do not know.
Okay. If anything, it created an interest in the community that that property is surplus as the school district needs it. So there could be people that might be interested now that they were not aware of that.
Any other questions, board members?
Did you have any inquiries?
No, sir.
No?
Not seen.
Somebody?
City's not excited about it.
So we did reach out to Circle K, had a conversation with them. And they appreciated the call, we'll look into it, but submitted no bid, and had no other questions. I will say the city does continue to be interested in it. How interested, obviously, not at that amount, but they continue to be interested. They did call me that day, that afternoon, to say, hey, how'd it go, and Cody was told they had no bid. So,
Not a fire sale, sir, it's not a fire sale.
No further questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any questions about that? Because if so, we could convene in a closed session about that property. Do you have any questions about the next agenda, the contract from the interim? Jim?
Do I have a question, you want to close session, the attorney is on call. There's no questions, there's no need to go into closed session.
Okay. At that point, we have concluded our.
Next action item.
That's what we're doing with that, sir.
We did. Oh, yes, but we didn't. Okay, gotcha, yes, sir.
Good thing you're here.
Lead guy.
We will now consider approval of action item 7A, consider approval for the interim superintendent agreement.
Board members, we have conducted a search for an interim superintendent over the past month. The board did conduct interviews of multiple candidates and looked at those and had some lengthy discussions about options. And with that being said, we have made a recommendation, the board has made a recommendation to extend an interim superintendent contract to Dr. Lana Calavo, who's here this evening. There is no doubt in my mind that she is the best candidate for this position. She has grandkids, I don't want to steal your thunder, she has grandkids in the district, and so she has got a vested interest. She's also experienced as a superintendent and as an interim superintendent. And I think most importantly, from what I know of Dr. Calavo and being in some multiple meetings with her, she is not a lightning rod. She is a very even-keeled, level-headed individual, so I don't see her coming in making big waves. I think she's here in the best interest of her grandkids, but also in the best interest of all the kids in Floresville. So if there's no questions, administration recommends the board approve the agreement with Dr. Lana Calavo to serve as interim superintendent as presented.
I'll move to accept the administration's recommendation.
We have a motion by Mr. Buse and a second by Dr. Odom. Any further questions or discussion on the item that's been presented? Show of hands in favor. 6-0. Thank you all. Welcome.
Dr. Calavo, you want to say something? You don't have to stand.
I thank you. I appreciate your faith in me. I do hope, and my plan is to have a smooth transition as we start the school year and move into the search for a new superintendent for Floresville ISD. I look forward to meeting and working with everyone. I love to be in schools. You know, I've done this several times now, so I'm excited to be here. And it is true, my grandson is here, I have another one that'll be in, the next couple of years, and so I have a vested interest beyond just public school, so. And I've worked with a number of your employees already, it's a small world in education. You know, it's no secret that I have known Coach Martinez for a number of years now, and he's worked in, we work together in Italia, so I'm excited about that. There's some other, I just kind of glanced through, there's some other teachers and coaches that I already know as well, so I'm excited.
Thank
I
you
look
very
forward
much
to
for
it.
being here.
And welcome to our school, welcome to our, I guess I can't say welcome to the community, because it sounds like you're here already, but thank you.
Well, I come a lot, I mean.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we will now conclude our agenda for this meeting. If there's any further business, I hear none, the meeting is adjourned at 7:26.
Thank you, board members. Thank you all.
I feel like I should leave.